Hey, it's Esther Johnson. I just got back from working out, so I apologize for my appearance, but I went to the Plexus Palooza this weekend and was requested to make a video about what I learned. I'm going to try to put into a short video what was covered in 8 hours. So here goes. A couple of things. We talked a lot. There was a lot of discussion on IPA, income producing activities. There was a lot of talk of don't puke Plexus. There were a lot of techniques given, but some of the things that really struck me were we talked a lot about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and they talked a lot about being positive affirmations. I really liked some of that. Old tapes, these are things that have happened to us in the past. This builds our fear and actually prevents us from moving forward. So we want to feel the fear and do it anyway. And I know a lot of us are struggling with that in trying to get out there and market ourselves. Use positive affirmations at least 3 times a day. And they gave some skill building exercises for that. We talked about positive self-talk and how that really, you're speaking from your heart, from your spirit, and that's important. And another thing, we must have a vision board, and many of us have that, and those who don't may want to create one. I found mine really, really helpful when I did that. One of the other things we talked about was not, when we're marketing specific products, for instance, ProBio 5, I guess there are a couple of videos out there, and one of them Sonia Dudley has done, and both Sonia Dudley and Lori Harrison were at the Palooza that I was at this weekend. And in them, I guess at one time, there was the idea that people would start ProBio 5 with a loading dose, and this is not a good idea whatsoever. So do not tell people to start with a loading dose of ProBio 5. We do want to really promote a triplex because of the wonderful gut health issues that it helps resolve. And there's a couple of reasons. Number one, when we promote the triplex, we're also creating lifelong customers as opposed to trend customers. So a trend customer is someone that just wants to lose 10 or 15 pounds. They're going to start on Slim and probably go off it at some point. Where if we're promoting triplex, we're teaching people about the importance of getting the gut healthy, keeping the gut healthy, and like myself, once that happens and people see the great effects of that, they're going to want to stay on these products for a while and also promote them and sell them themselves. So leading with triplex is a great place to be. Also, the recommendation is to not encourage people to do the spit test, because that plants the seed that, once your spit is okay, then you can go off the products. So I found those things quite interesting. Another thing I found interesting was for individuals that have specific types of diagnoses, and especially those that are really hard to confirm, for instance, fibromyalgia. We may find a lot of resistance in individuals that are having issues with fibromyalgia because it took so long for them to get a diagnosis. And for years, people thought they were crazy, that once they got that diagnosis, there's something to hold on to. And so there may be resistance around using the products and getting rid of something that took the individual so long to have confirmed that was real for them. So I found that very, very interesting. Let's see. We talked about a lot of spiritual issues, blessing blockers, the biggest being unforgiveness. And forgiveness is really for me. It's not for anybody else. And we talked about chasing is that thing that that you're harboring, is it chasing you, or are you actually dragging it around? And forgiveness and business growth are connected because our beliefs affect every aspect of us, including how we do our business. So there was a lot of talk about that. We want to speak faith instead of fear. We, fear is what keeps us stuck. And so we have to have faith in the products, and we have to speak about that faith instead of our fear. Another tip that was given to us was not to complain about our uplines or complain about people that are doing really well or we think are doing it differently, because that time that we spend complaining is really time that we could be spending growing our business. So it's all about, what we choose to focus on. And those are very helpful hints. There were quite a few books recommended, both personal growth books and business books. I'm trying to find my list here because I did write them. I wrote some down. The Circle Maker by Robertson. The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. And Sonia Dudley referred to this numerous times during the day and gave us some great exercises out of that book. Recaging the Beast, which is a book about gut health. Circle Maker, The 4-Year Career, and Failing Forward to Success. So those were a number of books that were brought up. Let's see. We touched on social media. Some people have Facebook pages, and I was recently asking, what's the benefit of having a Facebook business page as opposed to just a Facebook personal page? And what I learned was that not many people that have a Facebook business page get a lot of business from that page. So that's probably something that I will not continue to focus on. However, the important thing, and we all know this, we've heard it over and over, and I'm going to repeat it because I think it's key, is to craft a story about Plexus that does not include graphics, something that's personal. And the reason for this, again, it has to do with right brain, left brain. When we tell our story, we engage people emotionally, which is a right brain activity. When we show a graphic, we're engaging the left brain, which is logical and analytical. And it is from the heart, that emotional aspect of our story, that really touches people and gets them interested. What the graphic does is maybe it will validate that it's okay to go ahead and do it. But a lot of times, if you're just posting something and you have a graphic, it's going to be seen as an ad, and people are just going to scroll on by. So it is really important to tell our story, craft a compelling story about what life was like before, what's happened since Plexus came into your life, and then what the future might be like. Oh boy, so much that we did. Oh, when interviewing people and talking to people about the product, it's usually the third question that will be the real issue. So continue to ask questions and get people to tell you what their real issue is. And we went through steps to build your self-image. We talked about being vulnerable. We talked about the law of attraction. Again, so many things. This was a fabulous, fabulous event. I absolutely cannot encourage you to get to events in your area. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed meeting Sonia. I really enjoyed meeting Lori. I learned a lot. I met a lot of other wonderful ambassadors there, and I'm really eager to go to convention now, and we talked about that as well. So hope this was helpful. It just touches on a few things, but it was awesome. So thanks for listening.